What's going on, you guys? Spideyco64 back here once again, and we are in the cold room. Actually, we're in the studio room where I filmed the stop motion videos in the NASCAR ones and all that good stuff. I'm finally here to talk about the last 3 episodes of the Star Wars series that's out right now. That's Andor. So last time I talked about Andor, the Aldani heist was a success, and there were some people that died. Cassian killed that one dude off, and now it is now basically the post Aldani mission, and now the Empire ain't messing around anymore. So basically, hell now, basically they're saying, and Yularen from the Clone Wars shows up and just says any criminal act is an offense against the Empire, which that's some big shit right there. And what happens is that in the 7th episode, to basically briefly explain it, what happens is, and I'm mainly talking about Andor's story here because the show's about Andor. Yeah, there are other characters, I know that, but I mean, hey, we're here to talk about what's Andor's story so far. So after the Aldani heist, he returns back to Ferrix to meet up with his mother or adoptive mother and B2 Emo as well. And she starts to talk about how, that there are finally people standing up against the Empire and all this sort of stuff. And we also see some flashbacks of when the Empire first arrived on Ferrix. And we see the clone troopers all there, and they also hanged Cassian's adopted father as well. And then it seems like Cassian picks a fight against the clone troopers. It was probably maybe put in juvie, depending on how young he was at that time. I don't really know how old he was during that time, but I mean, I have to roughly assume maybe at least he was still like, I have to assume that right now Cassian's probably would be in his 30s, and it takes place 13 years ago, so I have to assume maybe he was in his late 20s. Maybe like he's like roughly around being like maybe like in the real world now, like a high school student or a college student and all that sort of stuff. But basically though, Cassian, wants to get his mother off of Ferrix and all that sort of stuff, but she decides to stay and all that. All that good stuff. There's also some stuff going on with Bix also as well, and whatnot, sort of have you. Cassie then goes to this really nice beach planet, where he's then arrested by a shore trooper and also strangled to death by a KX series security droid. And if you don't know what that is, that's the same droid that K2SO is. And of course we all know the relationship between Cassian and K2SO. I wonder how they're going to meet in the show. I really don't know. But basically, to talk about Cassian's predicament that he's now in, we now follow him up. Now he has been taken to an Imperial prison of some sorts underneath like this water base or this water prison, where basically they all have to be barefooted. It's this really weird, really and unique way of a prison. Basically, what happens is that in prison, they are forced to do manual labor or to, work and all that sort of stuff. And if they complete a certain amount of shifts, then they will then be going off and they'll be free. And while Cassian lands on that planet, well, when he gets there, basically he meets up with one of the new characters. He meets up with Andy Serkis. Yeah. I knew he was going to be in the show, but the people who said that he was going to be Snoke for some reason, your Snoke theory is wrong. I'm pretty sure I pissed off a lot of people by saying that. But basically, though, Cassie meets up with Andy Serkis. He's basically running kind of the whole joint and saying that, yeah, I got a few more ships to do, then I'll be gone and all that sort of stuff. And Cassian basically, well, I have to work now. I have to build all this stuff. I don't know what I'm building. People are possibly saying that it could be some parts to the Death Star or something like that, which I kind of doubt because the Death Star is a secret project. If they're going to do all the construction, they will probably do it where the Death Star is right now, currently in space. It's not in Geonosis. It's somewhere else in the galaxy around this time. No, pretty much the Empire killed off all the Geonosians and all that sort of stuff because they knew too much. And so basically what then happens in the second or the ninth episode, the most recent one, is that Cassian's still there. He's trying to get the Andy Serkis to tell him, hey, how many guards are there and all that sort of stuff. And what kind of just basically happens is that really the Empire really don't care about the prisoners. Well, Cassian tries to tell Andy Serkis. I know he has a real name. I just don't know what it is. I'll just call him Andy Serkis for now. So he tells Andy Serkis that, hey, the Empire don't care about you and all that sort of stuff. They're going to just dispose you. And one of the characters, one of the prisoners suffers a stroke, and they basically didn't give a shit about him. And so now what it looks like in the next episode is that pretty much what looks like to be going on is that Cassian is going to, and a lot of the other prisoners are going to stand up against, are going to stand up, are going to try to break out of prison, a prison breakout. So basically we had, that's basically the arc that's going on. And speaking of which, of any other arcs that are going on, we get some focus on, Cyril as well. He now has a new job. Basically, monitoring. I forget what he does. I swear to God, I don't know what he does. But basically, what happens is that him and Agent Madero, the ISB chick, that basically, is doing her job right. What happens is that they cross paths with one another, and both of them want Cassian. They both want, him. Probably want his head or something like that. But basically, they're after him and all that sort of stuff. And they're also monitoring rebel activity and whatnot, sort of have you. What also happens is on Ferrix, Bix tries to contact Luthern. But basically, what happens is that Luthern now wants to get Cassian killed, which I'm very surprised. I'm surprised that was even happening in the first place. And all that sort of stuff. And wants either Vel or the other chick to do that as well. We also see that Mon Mothma is trying to prepare funds for the Rebel Alliance as well with one of her senator friends. And we also find out in the ninth episode that Vel and Mon Mothma are cousins and all that sort of stuff. And basically, Mon Mothma is the cousin that is in the Senate, and she's a senator, she's a politician, and all that sort of stuff. She's pretty wealthy and all that sort of stuff. And hell, she said she was a senator since 16. Well, then again, Princess Leia did start her career in politics pretty early, as well. So that's another thing to kind of mention too. She probably started when she was 16 too. But basically, kind of talking about talking about some of the stuff that's going on. Luther now basically is trying to form an alliance with Saw Gerrera and his enforcers and all that sort of stuff. And we see Saw Gerrera played once again by Forrest Whitaker. Of course, he's played the character. Pretty much, he's played the character the first time in Rogue One. Did some voiceover for Star Wars Rebels, and then also came back to do some stuff for Fallen Order, and now he's back to do this one again. And it looks like that we don't know what role Saw Gerrera is going to play in this whole season. And the thing is that we only have 3 episodes left. So I'm very interested to see how the whole series ends, because basically I think the series basically ends when the week of Thanksgiving, which hell, I got a lot of shit to do, and I have a lot of work for college to do and all that sort of stuff, but I'll still have the time to try to at least give you guys some videos and all that sort of stuff. But to basically put it to you all like this, it's just these last several episodes, the 7th and the 8th episode I thought were pretty cool, pretty good. But then the 9th one just kind of just dragged on a little bit, and I'm really interested to see Luthern again. I think Luthern is one of the more interesting characters in this whole entire show, and I just really want to know what the hell is his deal. And it's also very interesting to see which characters are going to who appeared in season 1 are gonna appear in the second season, which is supposed to come out in 2024. I hear. And yeah, just all that sort of stuff. So, guys, that's pretty much my overall kind of thoughts on the 7th, 8th, and 9th episode of Andor. The show gets pretty good. The 9th episode so far is just my least favorite. But my favorite episode so far is the 6th one, where the Aldani heist, takes place and all that sort of stuff. And to kind of talk about some of the Star Wars stuff that we're gonna get in the next year or so, I'm trying to really think as to what we are getting. So what we're getting next year is we're getting a lot of stuff. So in January, we're supposed to get the Bad Batch season 2, which I'm only interested just to see Cody. I don't really kind of care about the Bad Batch no more. And all that sort of stuff. Like, stop caring for them after a few episodes of the first season. And then we got the Ahsoka series coming out. Or no. There's the Mandalorian. There's the second. There's the third season of the Mandalorian coming out too. Which I hear that the first episode's supposed to come out on Christmas. Which, I mean, that would kind of upset the schedule. But I hear it's supposed to be in February. Which, if it is, then that's fine. But kind of talk about other things that's supposed to come out in the next year. Like I said, there's also the Ahsoka series. And then there's also the Skeleton Crew series, which that's going to be an interesting one, I think. And who knows? And I'm really trying to think what other shows we're supposed to get. Throughout the next few years. We know the second season of Andor will come out in 2024. We also do know that we also know too that we don't know if there'll be, well, we know there's gonna be a fourth season of The Mandalorian, so maybe next year in 2024. And also the Acolyte is I think they're in pre-production for that series right now. So that's another series I'm also interested in as well. Don't listen to what the Phantom Menace says about Leslie Headland or all that stuff and whatnot, sort of have you. And yeah, Jedi Survivor also is coming out too. I don't know if hey, I could probably ask some of my cousins, hey, maybe you should just play. I don't know, maybe I'll just fly over to I'll go to to the state they're living in. Just be like, yeah, let's play some Jedi Survivor. I want to make a video on it, but anyways, though, guys, I know that the epilogue for this video is pretty long, but I just want to explain and just kind of talk about what we're getting from Star Wars. Now, of course, next week is when Black Panther 2 or Wakanda Forever comes out. I'm definitely gonna make a video about that, and I haven't gotten around the time to make any other Marvel videos. But we'll just have to see how that goes. But anyways, though, guys, thank you all for watching. Just have a good weekend. Actually, there will be a video this weekend. It does have to cover about NASCAR, and it's probably going to be a very depressing video, but but I'll explain more. And I'm going to get the burrito shirt on. So, thank you all for watching. And we'll see you all in the next one.